So there's this basement where I come to sometimes when I need a little bit of respite and I need to empty my head because it's a little bit too full and the city has just jammed my brain with too much sound and stimuli and lights and crowds and things to do and worries. And sometimes I like to use a song as a sort of lullaby to calm me down in empty, deserted spaces like these. Let me read a piece of text by a poet called Wendell BURKE. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of the wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. Come into the presence of still water. And I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. This is from his 2012 collection of poems. There's a composer called Jake Runestad who set his text to music, and we'll see how that goes. I have it on loop in my playlist, and it calms me down as I'm navigating through the city. The alto start off holding a note. Dark, it says dark P. Then the piano plays. The piano will be important in this piece. It's beautifully written. It ripples like the water or raindrops. And I thought I made a mistake because the text here is written on the bass line, and usually the basses don't get text. We sing the ooh and the do and the dum and the bum parts, but apparently we get words. So once again, from the text of Wendell BURKE. When despair. Oh, I need to stand up for this. This is going to require a lot of stamina. When despair of the world grows in me, and I wake in the night and in fear of what my life or my children's lives may be. This motif comes up again. I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. And I come into the peace of the wild things who do not tax their lives with full thoughts of grief. The wild things of the lucky who do not tax their lives with thoughts of grief. I come in, I come in, I come into the presence. There's modulation here, roughly. Into the presence of still water, where I feel above me the daylight stars waiting with their light. I come into the peace. Then what is it? What are the words here? I rest in the grace of the world. For a time I rest in the grace of the world. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world. For a time, for a time. This one is sung by the sopranos. Rest. And I'm free. And I'm free. The instructions for the pianist is to play freely. The same notes, and then after that, the altos end with free, and the piano plays freely still with just two alternating notes. Bum 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 bum. I don't do the song justice because this piece here actually won a composer's award. For me, I don't know how compositions are judged. What makes a good composer? Is it the material that he's interpreting or translating? Is it the techniques that he uses? For me, as one part of a much larger choir, I'm just moved by the openness and transparency, and it feels like honesty in what I read here. And there are things that he uses. He plays, for example, with time. He uses triplets, and the triplets segue into, they overlap with a regular squared off beat. And that's at the start, when there's a lot of rippling and almost, I wouldn't call it turbulence, but it's just this pinging, there's nothing aligned. And the triplets give this sense of pushing, this urgency, which then opens up into unison, into the layers of the chords also open up. So there's an expansion. And the resolve also, the modulation, it turns from minor into major key, and it turns brighter. And the reason why I see this as a contemporary hymn or lullaby or prayer for myself, and why it's so easy to hear it over and over again, is because it's through the music here that conjures up this coming together. You have the wood drake, you have the heron, and then wild things in plural. But then Wendell BURKE references the day-blind stars. I mean, that's such a beautiful phrase, the day-blind stars. They are always, I'm getting goosebumps now. They are always there, waiting with their light. So no matter how oppressive the daytime can be, and our sun has been particularly harsh these last 2 days. At night, the moon last night and tonight are going to be so full, and it's going to give this sense of, aliveness, awakeness, but a sense of rest as well. The protagonist in the poem, he comes to this state of rest, but he acknowledges, for a time. He sees it as transient, this sense of respite is passing, and there's a lightness to it. And even the end, usually songs resolve. So the last two notes by the piano, bum 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 bum, and then you will usually hear the tonic in the last chord. The tonic is the first note, so bum bum bum, but there is no resolution, bum bum bum. So there's that openness, like a breeze, like the wind, like time that just keeps. There's a letting go in that sense. So if anyone is lucky enough to get their hands on a copy of the score, I think it's worth having a look through. And if nothing else, there are a few versions of this song as well. There's one done by a university choir. I think that one is the best because it just is so clear. Their choir DVC is so clear. There are other songs to recommend if one wants to find peace in modern day. There is one HD Dal, which is Evening Song by Kodai. That one was set against a more political backdrop. And there's also, if you want something a little bit more metaphysical, then there is this one called If the Day is Done. So I've talked about that before. It's based on a poem by Rabindranath Tagore that will also be performed in the same concert on the 20th of March coming up. Or there is another song by Feliciano based on a different poem by Rabindranath Tagore called To the Unnamed Light. That one is beautiful, that one is so simple, and the four notes just hover around an invisible G, the unnamed light. So you have peace that comes in the form of consolation, comfort. I mentioned lullaby, or even prayer, hymn. And that's what choir can bring. I mentioned how Juan told me her reason for continuing with choir is that it uplifts her at the end of the workday, and I find that to be true. One can be tired as fuck, but still come in, still be tired, but then find that rest, find that uplift, and find that humanity through music made together. Telling a story written by someone in a different culture, set to music from a different person. So, yeah. I haven't done one of these in some time, but it's quite nice to record my thoughts. It's the 2nd of February today, by the way. It is nighttime. And yeah, I might do more. There's so many songs worth looking at.